Bengals win the North. Picked fourth by most people before the season. How they end up taking the division?
Right. I mean, it certainly surprised a lot of people, but the fact that they went out and went 8-3 in the AFC was just a huge testament to this team's ability to win the games they needed to win. I mean, they really should have had, one, maybe two more wins when you look at, they probably could have gone out there and beaten Green Bay when you had that overtime win. And then even against the Jets, that should have been a win. The fact that they have just been able to rise up to this occasion since the bye, since that Cleveland game, that first time around, the Browns embarrassed the Bengals in Cincinnati, and they went into the bye, and that really left a sour taste in this team's mouth. And since the bye, they have come out like a firestorm. They've just been clicking on all cylinders and really playing complementary football. I mean, there's been games where they've had to rely heavy on the run. You're going to get a lot of Joe Mixon. And then there's been other games where you see what we saw against Kansas City, where it's this Joe Burrow to whatever receiver is hot at the moment, where majority of the time this year it's been Jamar Chase, but you look at what T. Higgins has done for this team. I mean, there was a stretch where he was the leading receiver in 3 straight games for this team, and he's really come on strong. It's almost like the Bengals have 2 number 1 receivers in both of those guys, and then you add in Tyler Boyd, who's one of the most reliable 3rd down, 4th down receivers across the entire NFL, especially out of the slot. And so the fact that they've really hit their groove and their stride, they've been such a more confident team since the bye week, and it's really shown up. And you have to give the defense a lot of praise in that as well, because what the defense was able to do against Kansas City in the second half, and I know we'll talk more about that later on, just very, very impressed with the defense's ability to rise up and really improve and impress as the year's gone on.
So the concern before the year started was the offensive line, and Bengals are looking pretty good at taking Jamar Chase instead of the offensive tackle. I think that worked out pretty well for the guys. Who has stepped up on that offensive line to at least solidify it and get the Bengals where they needed to be, both in the passing game and in the running game?
Right. And I mean, the offensive line, it almost still feels like a work in progress because Joe Burrow still has been sacked way too many times. I believe it's 51 times this season. Way too many times he's been taken down. So that is going to be an area you would think that the team addresses in this next offseason. But they really liked what they had gotten out of Riley Reif at right tackle. He was a free agent that came over from the Vikings. He's been on IR now the last few weeks and is done for the season, according to head coach Zach Taylor. So Isaiah Prince, the former Ohio State offensive lineman, has been filling in at right tackle. And the coaching staff has been really impressed with what they've seen out of him and his improvement and growth. They said he's the most improved offensive lineman from the group this season. So he's made really great strides, during the course of the year here in Cincinnati. And then the other big kind of surprise on the offensive line has been Hakeem Adeniji. He's kind of, the rookie's been slotted in at that right guard position, and he's kind of taken it, by storm. He's really solidified and has matured as the season has progressed, because you did have Jackson Carman in there for a little bit. Xavier Su'a-Filo was initially the starter, then he went down with injury. So the fact that Hakeem Adeniji was able to come in and just take grasp of that right guard and give that position a little bit of stability and consistency has been something that's done wonders for this team. And then, you look at the left side, I don't think a lot of people expected Quinton Spain to come in and take that starting position week 1 and hold it throughout the course of the year. And that's exactly what he's done. He's really surprised many and has been just a consistent force in there at left guard to help shore up that left side. We will see Jackson Carman on the offensive line this week against Cleveland. So it will be nice to see him. And as you continue to hope that he grows and matures as a lineman, because they did use a 2nd-round pick on him. But the offensive line, Dave, while, still a work in progress, the coaching staff does like, where this line currently is and just the improvements they've seen throughout the course of the year.